Basics of yoga therapy. It is very much essential before going into the details, factors, forces, and systems of yoga therapy to know about yoga itself. Yoga is defined differently by different people. Patanjali defined classically as Yogas Chittavritti Nirodha. Bhagavad Gita identifies it as Yoga Karmas Kaushalam and Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Those definitions are understood differently by different people at different times. But in the contemporary views, what we can understand that yoga is an integrated, scientific and institutionalized body of knowledge of body, mind and consciousness to control, observe and understand the body, mind and consciousness with social foundation and spiritual orientation. In this particular definition, we are dealing with three important items. One is body, another is mind, another is consciousness. There are three processes of controlling, observing and understanding. And yoga is simply having a social foundation. It is identified and articulated for certain social purposes also. And at the same time, it is having a spiritual orientation. With this particular definition, what we can understand that yoga is an intervening variable between the social foundation and the spiritual orientation. It is a cultural phenomenon and facet developed throughout the mankind from different times. And now coming to yoga therapy. What is yoga therapy? It can be understood as an application dimension of yoga for holistic well-being of man. This is an application of yoga. When we see for application, it is actually dealing with the problem solution method. In that particular method, yoga therapy discusses certain problems and finds out solutions which will be promoting the holistic well-being of mankind. And the scope of yoga therapy can be found in 5 dimensions. One is management of the body, another is management of mind, another is management of consciousness, another is management of biomagnetism, and another is management of stress. That means, in this particular yoga therapy, the scope deals with the body, mind, consciousness, biomagnetism, and stress management. When we try to understand the nature of yoga therapy, what is the nature of yoga therapy? Why we have to go for yoga therapy? It is traditional. It is a part of Indian culture. And not only Indian culture, many cultures have developed yoga. Secondly, it is time tested. Over a period of centuries, it was very much tested. It is rational. It is basing on the cause and effect theory. And fourthly, it is natural. It is not an artificial method like other systems of medicine or other things. It is working with the nature, in the nature, being the nature, and by the nature. And in this particular yoga therapy, we have to understand that this particular entire yoga therapy is based on some principles. It is basically understood that it is curative in nature. Yoga therapy is basically curative. It is not a palliative approach. It is diagnostic in terms of astrology. In the therapy of yoga, astrology plays a very vital role and it will be basic factor for deciding a particular disease or any illness or any disorder or any inflammation, etc. It is metaphysical by controlling thought. So yoga is having another dimension which is controlling the thought, and there it claims metaphysical. It is sociological by promoting peace and public health. So being a medium for public health and medium for peace, it is sociological. And food and air are the medical components. It is not having a particular therapeutic identity and pharmacological identity in this particular yoga. Food and air is very important. The entire body is one unit. In yoga therapy, we are not going to study different parts of the body as segments of the body separately. We will be contributing for the entire body. And the most important one is light factors control heavier factors. This is the basic principles of yoga therapy. Because the heavier parts Like the physical body is controlled by the air is controlled by the mind is controlled by consciousness is controlled by energy is controlled by the grand vacuum. In this way, the light factors will be dominating, and the management of the light factors is the skill in the art of yoga therapy. And actually, yoga therapy is very much scientific, and it is also speaking about the observation of the body in different methods. And there are certain processes in yoga therapy. One is integration of physical body through asana and mudra. The asana and mudra are very much found in Hatha Yoga tradition. And asana is considered simply to be sitting posture. But it was understood to be a system of purification. And energy is purified within the body, and it is installed within the energy within the body through the mudra. And that is why the asana and mudra are to be integrated for the physical body. And it is integration of the gaseous mass through pranayama and bandha. There are 8 varieties of pranayama which are considered to be more important. They are also called as kumbhakas. And then the bandha is there. There are 3 varieties of bandha, and they will be controlling the gaseous mass which will be bearing the entire physical mass. And thirdly, it is having another process of integration of the space and energy through introspection, meditation and silence. So the space and energy are to be integrated. These 3 processes are very much found within the human body. And in the human body, there are 3 basic cycles which cannot be ignored. One is called as radiation cycle. Radiation cycle is found from the eyes and ears to the navel. Up to that extent, it is totally controlling the magnetic body. And the energy cycle is found from nose to genitals. It is controlling the astral body. The life force cycle is found from mouth to anus. It is controlling the physical body. These 3 bodies, the physical body, the astral body and the magnetic body, form the 3 cycles. And these particular cycles must be properly integrated by the asana, mudra, pranayama, bandha, introspection, meditation and silence. In this particular situation, we have to understand one basic question. Actually, what are the benefits for this particular yoga therapy? Why we have to follow this particular yoga therapy? The first one, what we can understand is promotion of immunity. Immunity means the internal resistance of the body in order to face the physical challenges which are extraneous. They may be endemic, they may be epidemic. Any type of challenges can be borne by the body and mind. That is promotion of immunity. Contribution to stress management. Nowadays, most of the people are suffering from the stress. So stress management is totally maintained through the yoga therapy. And there is one more important factor, symmetry in mass, energy and space. Not only the human body, but all the living beings are controlled by the mass, energy and space. Whenever there is a proper inequilibrium, then we have to understand that the inequilibrium is a basic reason for the illness or disorder in the mass, energy and space. It is having another benefit of construct of consciousness spectrum. The consciousness spectrum is from visible to the self to the beyond. This is a process wherefrom the interrelationship between the visible self and something beyond the self or trans-self spectrum is more important. It is a drive for the consciousness to the trans-self spectrum. It is conditioning of living. So, the benefits of yoga therapy can be found in condition of living. The lifestyle and living must be properly controlled. These benefits can be achieved and accrued through the system of yoga therapy, and this is playing a very vital role in the management of the biomagnetism. This biomagnetism is considered to be very, very important, and it is the basic force which can be the reason for the health, for the well-being and for the disease structure in the mankind or any living being. Yoga therapy will be helping in order to identify those particular factors of the biomagnetism, and by the proper integration of the physical body through asanas and mudras, integration of gaseous mass through pranayama and bandha, integration of space and energy through introspection, meditation and silence, the yoga therapy can be a powerful medium to cure